digest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Oh, Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire. This is my club, my only desire.
Guys, and welcome to THFC Till I Die, home time, past, present, and exciting, uncertain, whatever future under Thomas D. Frank. I don't know why I called him D. Frank, but there you
The
go.
Frank.
The Frank, D. Frank, D. Franklin. Do you know?
Thomas De Frank.
D. Frank, yeah. Thomas D. Frank, as we talk to him in the French.
The players. And I said that's Conte. The players.
Yeah, Conte, the players, the club, the managers, the owners. Nobody wants success. The Tottenham. You know.
I'm going to replay that later on.
Yeah, I think I want to as well. I need to learn that. You know, the players don't want to get excited.
The
owners, the owners don't want to spend the money. 20 years is always the players and the managers. It's never their fault. Yeah, it's how we feel about ENIC.
Pretty much.
But yeah, so joining me tonight, of course, is the man, the myth, the legend, Simon Jordan, Houston Football Club, aka Tequila 216. How are you, bud?
I'm okay. We're going to get into obviously a couple of annoying players that we've got. At least I think they're annoying. Some might disagree, but we're in that part that a Tottenham fan should be used to by now, where the managers called out the fans now, and the players are taking their digs, and now the fans have taken their digs at the players, and now the players are taking their digs at the fans. So without being too negative and defeatist, I think we all know where we're at. Is it going to end the same way? I can't tell the future, but experience normally teaches us. I think we know where it's going.
Yeah. Look, I will to Wayne's comment. Yes, it was probably more Inspector Clouseau than Conte, but yeah, I will try. I get an AI version of that and do it. I need to find it and get an AI voice analyzer to sound Italian and do it. I think I'm gonna have to do that. Look, I think where we want to go tonight is talk about the players and the reconnection. Believe me, we were never disconnected as a fan base. I remember back in '84, Tequila, Danny Thomas missed a penalty in the Europa League in the UEFA Cup final, and everyone was singing "There's only one Danny Thomas." The team, the players, and fans were one that night. I think that's the last time we've really been that united. Yes, we were united on the potch, but that fell apart so quickly when they wanted Poch out. Then we've been through the cycle of manager after manager after manager after manager. We do get success, and this is a chance to unite again and build on that. I mean, we haven't. and now we're getting frustrated with another manager.
Yeah.
I think this club is somehow cursed. I think ENIC has a lot to do, but we're going to get into that as well. I've got a few stats that will make your teeth itch about our hopeless home form, Tequila. It is woeful. So we're going to talk about that a bit. We're going to talk about Porro. We're going to talk about Thomas Frank as well. So we've got a lot to go through. Where I want to start tonight is, Tequila, with this, right? Let's start a bit positive, right? This is Thomas Frank's first games before the Everton win. After that, we know it gets a bit sideways. But if you look in that start, Tequila, only two defeats out of the first. I don't know how many defeat games there was there. Let me check one. 14 games. So only 2 defeat out of his first 14. But some of them games were pretty bad, Tequila. I mean, if you were looking at that, it's not a bad start to a management career at a club, is it?
No, if you look at it just from a results standpoint, we started off with PSG. I know it was kind of a friendly, but it was still a good performance. Yeah, we let in the 2 goals, which was annoying. Yeah. But for 80 minutes, we were the better team, and I think we were all kind of a little giddy because it's like, wow, maybe Frank is the real deal. Obviously, we know that was a little apprehensive, but we're supporters. We do we dare to dream is the word. So we thought that maybe it was going to be different this season, and then unfortunately, Burnley also, we played well. It was against Burnley, but and then we carried that on with City. And then it was Bournemouth when the cracks started to really show. But then, but because of our away form, we kind of, beat West Ham. Villarreal was not amazing. An own goal, if I remember correctly. Yeah, but a win is a win. But it was not in a greater performance. And then away to Brighton, that's not a bad result either, Dermo. We beat Doncaster as expected. I think Wolves is the key one for me.
That's where the rot started.
We all expected to kind of hammer Wolves because we knew they were in a tailspin, and they still are. But we saw how bad they were, and then as you can see, most of those results, Leeds away was decent, and Everton away actually. So still our away form in the league still wasn't too bad. Yeah, our home form was horrible. The Champions League performances, Bodo wasn't that impressive. We know how you felt about Monaco. The result itself, not that bad, but the performance was really bad. And then the last 2-3 weeks has been a catastrophe.
Yeah, it has. And look, if we do go on to it, I have got it here. I was up late last night putting this together, by the way, putting all these stats together. This is our last 6 games, Tequila, in all competitions. Only 1 win and of our last 6. That was against Copenhagen. You look at the games, we lost 2-1 to Fulham. We lost on Saturday, 5-3 to PSG, 4-1 to Arsenal, the 2-2 draw against United, which I think is a drop 2 points as well, by the way. And then the 1-0 defeat against Chelsea. But the last 6 Premier League games, Tequila, this is worrying. You look at the teams we're losing to, and to disrespect. Now, I'm not being harsh on Manchester United. They were down where we were last season, but they've improved. And so to get a draw out of that, I think it was. I was angry with the way we got the draw, Tequila. But I think I just think the players just kept switching off. Then we got the 4-1 defeat to Arsenal, and then the 2-1 defeat, but only 1 win, Tequila. So 2 wins out of our last 12 in all competitions, basically.
I mean, looking at those last 6 games, we all knew that this was a couple of weeks ago when we saw these fixtures coming. We all knew this was it was going to be a tough couple of weeks. Yeah. We knew that just from the fixtures alone, right? And I'm looking at these teams, the bottom 6, the bottom 6 matches, and I think, other than the Everton result, which was a good result, I didn't expect us to do anything that different results-wise, other than Fulham. I had us down as a draw, but I thought, the optimistic part of me thought, we could win that.
Yeah,
we could. Losing to Arsenal and Chelsea, let's be honest, we normally do. It was the performances, not the results. So I'm trying to look at the results. The results-wise, I'm not that surprised by that, other than probably the Fulham result, right? That one
Yeah.
surprises me. It's the performance in nearly all of those games, other than the Everton one. I think
That's worrying. That is worrying.
That's 5 out of the 6 games where I think we've kind of been pretty horrible. I'm not even going to say average, though. We've been horrible in most of those games.
It's been like watching a horror movie. But I sort of agree and disagree. I disagree. I agree with you with Chelsea and Arsenal. I do, because rarely do we gain anything from the Emirates. We never do.
No.
So it was the manner of the defeat for me that angered me, and the manner of defeat against Chelsea that pissed me off. Did I expect to get a result at home against Villa and Manchester United? Probably yes. I think Manchester United, I think at that time, I think we had enough chances to win that game. And when you're 2-1 up, Tequila, with a couple of seconds left of the game, you should be able to see it out. Personally, I think I do think that. I know Aston Villa again.
You do need to remember though that, and this is you need to remember, you're right, but also, had they not made that screw up with the substitutions, we didn't score until they made that screw up with the substitutions.
No, that's true.
That's true as well.
Yeah, it's very true. And there was no booing, I don't think, that day, because the fans saw the effort we were putting in. Do you know what I mean? It's the effort. And there's been no effort this season in some of these games. Arsenal, Chelsea, especially no effort. So everyone has to take a piece of the pie and accept their responsibilities and accept their how bad they have played, Tequila. But if we move on, like, these are our only home wins in 2025. Now, I had to go back to the Premier League and check this. 1-0 against United. I think that was in last February. Beat Southampton near the end of the season and started the season with a 3-0 Burnley win. This is our home form in 2025. The last 16 games together.
Yeah, I know.
It's shocking. I mean, I had to go back to the 93, 94 season for a full season, a full 21-year season. The first year under Aussie, when we nearly got relegated, where we only won 4 games at home in a one season. So, I mean, that's in one season. We've only won 3 games at home in a whole calendar year. So I think that the point I'm trying to make out is that makes it even worse when you look at the form that we've been under for the last year. That was just done in one season, and you go back, and this is us for a whole calendar year.
I mean, and you know, if I could see a whole bunch of draws there, Dermo, maybe it wouldn't look quite as bad.
Yeah.
But the truth is that there's hardly any draws. It's just flat out losses.
It's shocking. And then you get to the Fulham game on Saturday, Tequila, where I think, look, we talked about it earlier on with Rain, but players made mistakes, fans booed, and I think the fans are right to boo, by the way. I wouldn't boo myself, generally. I think during the game, I think if you boo during the game, then I don't think it's right, but I can understand why they do it, because they pay the high tickets prices in Europe, and to go to the ground expecting a good performance. There's people that travel for miles to get to these games, Tequila. So I understand that, but when you're hearing tripe like this coming out, I didn't download it, but I will read it out to you for what Porro said, and I think this is I think this is the start of us talking about it. Let me get the comment up for you, but I get it. I understand it. I think it's right. I think it's right. Fans have a right to boo, to protest, to say to the manager, this isn't right. Players were coming off. I was watching Chris Cowland's players coming down the tunnel. Fans were shouting, "You may not fit to wear the shirt," which I think they're a spot on about, Tequila. I think they're a spot on. But this is Forrest's comment. and then I'm going to leave the floor to you, Bod, because I know you have a lot to say about this. Porro then put on social media, he says, football is emotions. In football, as in life, there can always be mistakes. What I will not tolerate is hearing disrespect from the fan to my teammates. Hence my frustration at the end of the game. We will get up. We remind you 6 months ago. Yeah, you can keep reminding us about the Europa League final. That's gone and dusted. Stop looking back. Everything was so bad, and it ended. And in the end, it is not how it begins, but how it ends. To the true Spurs fans, I love you. The last bit, I can get most of what he's trying to say, Tequila. I can understand it, right? I don't accept it, but I can understand it. And think you two too. It's the last bit that really pissed me off. How dare he try to tell us who we are, how we support our club? 40 odd years supporting them, nearly 30 years for you. Bud, the floor's yours.
I'll get on to the last bit, which obviously is the thing that's pissed us both, you and me, off the most. Firstly, Porro trying to give me life advice when he lives in his mansion with his beautiful girlfriend that we can all dream of having. And he hasn't got to pay for, he's not stuck on the NHS like me or you, Dermo, trying to get an operation because we're hurt. I ain't going to be taking life advice from him because most of those people live in a bubble the rest of us can only dream of. That's first. So I ain't taking life advice from Pedro Porro because he's saying it like he's trying to teach us something. Whereas I think most likely, no, I don't know him personally, of course, but most likely he's lived probably a life of luxury. Maybe not when he was starting out, but certainly recent years he's lived a life of luxury. So I'm not going to listen to life advice from Pedro Porro because it comes across he's being a bit condescending.
Yeah.
That's firstly. That's my first little like. I don't like how you're speaking to me. He won't care. I don't know who he is. He doesn't know who I am. That's fine. I don't like that. Yeah, you've got the quote up. So let's have a look at the quote to make sure. I don't want to misquote him.
Sorry.
Right. And the next part I'd like to flag a little bit is, and we will get up. We remind you 6 months ago, everything was so bad. In the end, it is not how it begins, how it ends. So, in Pedro Porro's mind, and I think this filtered through from a lot of the players, that would explain a lot of their performances in the league at the second half of last season. This explains a lot. Pedro Porro believes that finishing 17th in a Premiership is okay. How many other players secretly, Dermo, probably share the same feeling as Pedro Porro? Probably a lot of them.
Probably.
Doesn't that tell you probably a lot and explain a lot of the performances at the second half of the season?
Yeah, it explains their mentality, all right.
Now, me and Dermo, we disagree slightly on the whole winning trophies. Right? I'm not saying winning trophies isn't important. I do care about the league a lot as well. I care about, I want to respect the team. And though I can respect them to a certain degree for winning the Europa League, even though I do think it was a poor league cup to win, it was still a cup to win. I never said, despite what others might have said earlier, I never said it wasn't. All right. But the league is also important as well. What value you place on the league and cup is going to be individuals. We're all going to be a bit different on it, right? For me, I want to respect the team in the league. That's for me. Other people might value stuff differently. That's cool. That's great. But as Ange kind of alluded to, they decided, and I'm going to assume, Dermo, it was probably a joint decision that came from the manager and the players to throw the league and go for the Europa Cup. Now, it worked.
I would say it did work.
It did work.
Well,
It
not the way we wanted to, but yeah, it did work.
It did work. I doubt that Daniel Levy probably agreed with that, to be honest, because if he would have agreed with that, then Ange wouldn't have been sacked. So the board probably didn't feel that way. But the Ange and the players did. So that's the second thing I want to flag up with Porro's comments there. That suggests to me that a lot of people were wondering if the team had given up on the league. And for me, this is more or less as close as confirmation you're going to get. If you needed confirmation, this backs up those feelings, right? So Pedro Porro and the team thought it was okay to finish 17th. I think that's a bit delusional. That's the word I'd use. Pedro Porro doesn't think so, obviously, because because based on what he said here, he was fine with it.
Yeah.
I have higher expectations, Dermo. I'm sorry. That doesn't mean I'm
Sure.
entitled. It just means I have higher expectations
You-
than finishing 17th.
Yeah. I mean, look at John Lee's comment here. I think he's spot on with it. Without a fan, we don't have a club. Every
No.
fan has the same expectations as you, Tequila. We all want to finish. Our main goal is to win the league. We ain't going to do that. A, because the owners don't give a shit. B, I don't think we have the right manager. And C, the players don't give a shit. So the club's in the mess at the moment. I think the players, and I said it yesterday or the day before, Tequila, that I think they're using the same mentality for this season. I don't know if it's come across, but there seems to be better performances in the Champions League than there has been in the league.
On average, I'd say that's probably about right. Yeah.
So is this mentality still? I mean, I just don't get it. We're in a mess. This club is an absolute comedy shop.
Let me just talk about the last part, which is the worst.
This
part
is
of
the
it.
bit that pisses me off and you off as well.
To the true Spurs fans, I love you. Right. So that's Pedro Porro more or less saying to you, if you dare boo them, you're not a true Spurs fan.
Yeah.
So me and Dermo, we won't go over the past that much, but we have been told by other YouTubers what kind of fans we should be. And if we don't qualify for those kind of fans that these high and mighty people deemed that we should be, then we're not true Spurs fans, to quote Pedro Porro there.
We should go and support another club, Tequila. That's what we were told. Go and support another club.
Yep. So Pedro Porro is agreeing with them that unless we follow the rules that Pedro Porro himself has decided we must follow, we're not true Spurs fans. I'd say that's incredibly, number one, short-sighted. Not that a lot of footballers are that smart anyway. Very arrogant, which a lot of them are. They live inside their own bubble, which is more proof that he does. Condescending, already used that word. And it just kind of shows you the lack of connection between Pedro Porro and Spurs fans in general. Now, people can spin it and say, oh, Tequila, he was talking about booing during the game, and but it's okay to boo after the match, which is the stance that Thomas Frank was kind of taking. And I can understand, as Simon Jordan much more eloquently than me put earlier in TalkSport, that me and Domo have both seen, that it isn't helpful for most of the players. And I can get behind that and what Thomas Frank was saying. They're right. It probably isn't very helpful, but they can. And if Pedro Porro would have phrased it that way, like, it doesn't help us. Can you please not do it because it doesn't help us? I wouldn't have a problem. It's the fact that now, as I said, he is now deciding for us what we can and can't do. Right? Pedro Porro doesn't get to decide that. Thomas Frank doesn't get to decide that.
No.
Other YouTubers who's criticised me and Dermo don't get to decide that.
No. We decide how we support this club. As I said, 40 odd years for me, 44 years on 1st of January supporting this club. And you, Tequila, you must be nearing 30 years now, are you, bud? Supporting this club?
Mid to late 20 years, yeah. 27.
Yeah. I mean, Wayne Bonner says, so he goes, so some overpaid, pampered dick, I won't say the word, it's not past 9 o'clock yet, dick, decides that after 47 years of supporting Spurs, I'm not a true fan.
Yes.
And then we heard the caveat from Martin Knobhead Keown, who, please, what the hell, just because he was part of a team that didn't lose in one season gives him the right to talk about Tottenham. You played for Arsenal, you idiot. Keep your nose out of our business, keep Tottenham out of your mouth, and go back into the crimey little hole you come out of. And that's back at Highbury, by the way. How dare he tell us fans to stay at home? Who the hell did he think he is to tell us what to say? I mean, Simon Jordan did try to stop him, by the way.
Simon Jordan. I know that Simon Jordan's not everybody's cup of tea, but I tell you what, he was certainly on our side today, defending us against Martin Keown. So big up to him.
Yeah, look, I listened to that. I listened to a few bits of it. There was a few Spurs coming on, fans talking, And after the game on Saturday against Fulham, Tequila, and it was the same thing. Do you know, we have a right to boo. It's our club. And there's no direction. There's no connection between us, the players, and the fans. I think the connection got broken when Poch left. If I'm being brutally honest, I think that's where the sort of breaking point came. But for Porro to come out and what he said, he needs to take a reality check. He really does need to take a reality check. What right has he have to come out and tell us fans how to support the football club? Do you know, if you don't have us, mate, you don't have a club, you don't have a job. And if you care the shirt so much, and if you care for the club, you say you do, you be coming out and saying, right, guys, we need to put on a performance for the fans to pay them back. There's you walking around like a fucking idiot on Saturday after the game, shouting at everyone, having a go at Bergville because Bergville wanted to appreciate the fan support. I mean, what gives him the right to tell people what to do? That's bullying. Going around, you can't clap the fans, Bergville. No, how dare you? Having a go with them. You got Vicario after he conceded the second goal. You know, having a go at the defenders. Well, how about actually running back and not? How about coming out, hitting the board and getting it out of play straight away, you idiot? Instead of playing around, you think you were prime George Best. You got Thomas Frank. No, it's unacceptable. We can't have fans booing our players during the games. No, it's not acceptable. I am sorry. So, okay, so we've got managers telling us what to do. You've got players that don't give a shit telling us what to do. You've got players telling players not to clap the fans at the end of the game, Tequila. So please tell me, what right does Porro have? The sooner he goes, and by the way, to cap everything off, he's been playing shit for the last year. So
Yep.
I think he want to concentrate on his performances and on his playing, on him playing better than actually get to social media, sitting in his big mansion on 100-something grand a week, sitting on his gold toilet probably, writing this trollop. Concentrate on your performances, mate.
If you see, it's not just what you say, but also kind of how you say it. If he would have just turned around, and I say the same thing I said for Frank, if both of them would have phrased it differently and just turned around and said, we don't appreciate really you fans booing us, right? It doesn't help us, so we'd rather you didn't. Then that would be a statement I wouldn't have a problem with, and I'd be like, you know what? Okay, right, fair enough. Then he has to put, like Frank did, he's got to put the last part on the end, where it comes across in him more or less telling you and saying you're not a real Spurs fan, and they've both done it. So there you go. People want the players and the manager and the team to be on the same wavelength. There you go. There's proof that they are. It's not good news for us as fans, because that suggests to me that both the manager and at least some of the players, of course I'm not going to say it's all the players. Hopefully they all don't feel the same way as Porro, but I have a feeling a lot of them may. That just shows you the disconnect and the toxicity between the team and the fans, which, as I said earlier on the stream with Rain and Dermo, I think is playing a part of the bad home form, because it's obvious they don't particularly want to play in front of us, Dermo. No, they don't enjoy it. They don't enjoy it.
They don't. And to put that into sort of stats, we've played 120. These are the games that we've played since 2019 compared to Arsenal since 2006. Why would this come up on a BBC losing a lot of home games? Out of 125 games, we're nearly at the same lose rate at home than Arsenal, who have played 367. We've got a 33% lose percentage at home since 2019, since the stadium opened. That's 125 games at the new stadium. When you look at stats like that, Tequila, it's very striking. We've got a problem.
Well, yeah, because there's a 13-year difference. You can't defend it. Check the stats for yourself. Dermo's put this stat up. There's another stat I saw where 19th is where we would be based on home form. to relegation.
I mean, look, I tried to find the first 125 games at White Hart Lane, and they were that look. So since 125 games represents most of the Southern League period, the stats can be roughly estimated. So these are just estimated. So Tottenham's first 125 games at White Hart Lane, 125 played, 89 won, 21 drawn, 15 defeats in 125 games. Now, these are estimates, so they can't be 100% accurate, or they're not accurate, if you know what I mean. But there's a difference. I know football was different then. It was a Southern League, different. But the point I'm trying to make is our home form has not just been a Thomas Frank thing. It's been a Poch thing as well. Because Poch was the manager when we moved into the stadium. So it's been a thing way back since 2019, Tequila. The last season at White Hart Lane, we didn't lose a game all season at the Lane. I always said building this new stadium was the worst thing we could have ever done. I'm sorry, I do.
I mean, there could be an element of that. I'm not saying you're wrong. I think it's been widely reported by more or less everyone who goes to the new stadium every week. More or less says it's they've come back and told us, you know, you and me don't get to go there very often, but the ones who do, like Rain, for example, they always come back and they say the atmosphere is not very good, that something's missing, there's no soul there and stuff like that. And I remember a lot of people when they saw the overlap in the summer with Levy and Gary Neville, and they've got one of those rooms, Dermo, which is made from the old parts of the original White Hart Lane and stuff like that. And I think a lot of us were just kind of like, yeah, this stadium just doesn't really have an identity. Hell, it doesn't even have a name still. You think that something like that? I'm not saying we name the stadium all of a sudden our home form improves, but it just does go to show you that there's just been a lack of emphasis put on the stadium. Yeah, it looks amazing. It's got amazing facilities, by all means, yeah. But does it have any heart and soul? Don't think so.
Do you think the fans should have been consulted more? I don't know if Rain was, as being a season ticket holder, how the season would have been arranged. But do you think that there's a problem? Wherever the problem is, it has to be. Yeah, but the point I'm making is he was the manager there, so the rot started there. That's the point. The point I'm making is he was the manager when that new stadium started. He was the manager. Then we went with Mourinho. So the rot for me started on the Poch. At that time when Poch left, the fans were toxic, wanting Poch out. You know, and do you think the fans have a right to demand everything right from the club, Tequila? Or do you think it has to be a united effort do you think does it have to be a united effort?
I think there should always be consultation. There should always be communication, and I think another valid criticism under the old leadership, you know, who we're talking about, the same Danny boy we always talk about, and we will still be talking about until his legacy is gone, which won't be until we get rid of most of these players. So until that happens, we're going to keep mentioning Danny boy. My point was that the communication between the club and the fans has been dirt poor, Dermo. Always has been. When's the last time you felt that the fans and the board, or the management of the board, the owners, were had like a good symbiotic, is the term I'm looking for, relationship?
I would say after Levy left, with Vinay was putting out all them videos. I would think that's the only time. I would have to go back to the 80s for the last time that the club and everyone was united as one.
You yourself, Dermo, has criticised them, rightly so, and you're an older fan than me, and so this is more up your alley than me. Is because you saw them a lot more than I did. You've complained a lot about the club not respecting the legends of the past. No statues, no parts of the stadium named after our famous ex-players or famous ex-managers. So that part has never been there. They've never really cared. Has that changed? I'll believe it when I see it. Hopefully, maybe.
Yeah.
But as of right now, there's not that much evidence. But again, mate, we got to play the waiting game because we need to see again if this new ENIC. I don't even know if I call them new, whatever version we're getting now.
Yeah,
If
the
they're gonna-
same old shit. They're
No,
the same
probably.
old shit.
Yeah, you're probably
And-
right. Probably right.
And what gets me with Thomas Frank is this was Vinay's and Lang's first proper appointment for the club. And yeah, I'm Frank out. I'm look, Frank out's probably a wrong term to use. I'm disillusioned with the team and with Frank and the club at the moment. And for me, I don't think there's no coming back. We got news about a meeting supposed to be today between the players and the hierarchy. We will let you know how that comes out. We got the bit of news today, didn't we, Tequila, about the family. Frank's family has said they think Thomas made a mistake by taking the Spurs job and feels the way he's been treated is unfair. It's unknown with Thomas Frank. I say it does himself. But if you going to attack the fans, what do you think you're going to get back? Seriously, if Porro attacks the fans, what do you think you're going to get back? You're not going to get back love and support. You're going to get back, do your fucking job. Get on with it. We know Saar put something out today. We don't know what Saar put out. Apparently, he put something out today. And his football isn't helping either, Tequila. I mean, look, these are the stats I found. And I mean, these stats are absolutely damning of his football we've been watching. Fulham derby also marked a new low. Their 2-0 lead at the 43-minute mark was the earliest that Tottenham have ever conceded 2 goals in a Premier League home match.
Yeah.
Spurs haven't won any of the last 40 Premier League games when trailing by 2 goals at half-time, drawn 2, lost 38, since the 3-2 win at Arsenal back in November 2010. And then Tottenham have lost 4 consecutive home London derbies for the first time in the Premier League history. They've been narrow defeats, 1-2 to Fulham, 1-0 to Chelsea, 2-0 to Palace, 4-3 to Chelsea. Again, I mean, I'm sorry, them stats don't help the manager, do they? They don't help portray him as a man that's going to lead us to success. Success. So, and then him coming around and popping at the fans, I think he's got that's a fight he's never going to win. Ange lost that fight and lost it with his job. I think it's going the same way with Thomas Frank as well at the moment, by the way.
I think it's going to end up the same way, yeah. It's quite uncanny how history is repeating itself. I mean, we should be used to it, but I must admit, when I did see the first attack on the fans, see Vicario doing it, it's like, okay, I thought that was a silly thing to do. But I thought, that's just one individual player who kind of says a bit too much sometimes. And we know Vicario tends to do this. But once Frank was doing it, it was just like, okay. Honestly, Dermo, as soon as I saw him attacking the fans, I really thought to myself, okay, who's our next manager? That's more or less what went through my mind.
Well, look, I've been bored for the last. I put my head above the parapet a few weeks ago. I think after the Chelsea game, I think I was done then.
I don't actually think I want Frank to go, but I said to Dermo, I don't care if he does. So I suppose I'm apathy is a word I'm looking for, isn't it? I care, but I don't care. It's that kind of attitude where it's like, I want us to do well. I don't think it's going to matter this season. I guess I'm writing the season off, which is pretty depressing to be doing that less than halfway through.
No, I've already done that already. I've come to terms this season to write off Tequila, unless we win the FA Cup. I mean,
well, that's it. Okay, so well, you never know, right? We'll need an awful lot of luck, but it's not impossible. But you will need a lot of luck with the draws. You know, if we can avoid Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, City. Well, then again, we tend to beat City. Maybe not City. Then there you go. We tend to always beat them. But if we can avoid like 10 or 12 of the bigger clubs in the whole draw, then you never know, right?
ENIC, get your money out.
Hey, we can win it. So you never know, right?
Yeah, look, I'm going to get a few chats here, Tequila. Some people sent some good chats again. If you are new, do hit the like and subscribe on our march to 2,500 before Christmas and 2,300 before the end of the season. Dermo and Tequila, let's be honest, I'm tired of the club. Managers have never been back. Cheap deals, last day panic buys, new stadium. These owners don't care lads about us. We need to get them out. Look, I've been preaching that. Where's change for Tottenham? Where is change for Tottenham when you need them? I mean, we were told they might be disbanded. I don't know if they are or not. But
Okay, so I think the reason why change for Tottenham have backed off is because they were, or at least the stance they took, which we might not have realised at the time. I don't know. I didn't go to the protest, so I don't know exactly what they were chanting. Right, I heard stuff, but I never went. So it seems like they were targeting Levy more than ENIC, because if they weren't, then you're right, Dermo. The protest would have continued. So why did it stop? We already know that they took credit, I think, wrongfully for Donna Cullen going. And they obviously have taken credit for Levy going, which is fine. Let them take credit. I don't care that much. By all means, take your credit if you want it. But that suggests to me, Dermo, that they thought that was the target. They thought that was the change that needed to be made, and that ENIC were not the problem. That I think we've got to assume, based on their actions, that they must have believed that it was Levy and not ENIC that are the problem. So if that's what they believe, then there's nothing for them to protest at, because they've achieved what their goal was, which was Levy gone. What you're saying, and I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm still like, ask me at the end of next summer. That's my stance. But what you're saying is that it's ENIC. If they were never targeting ENIC, right, then they've achieved their goals. So that's why they're not protesting.
I mean, the protest was Levy out, ENIC out. That was always the protest. Levy out, ENIC out. And I understand them waiting for ENIC. Well, let's give them a summer. Let's give them a window. We're going. It was said earlier on Real Top TV. I was watching that while I was doing some channel work, that we're going into the unknown. We're going into the unknown with this new ownership. But it's the same ownership we've had for 25 years. Yeah, different heads, different bodies are there, different faces are running it. But it's still ENIC. It's still the same old thing. And they keep putting out, we want sporting success. We're going to back the manager with sporting success. Well, if they're not going to back Thomas Frank, then what's the point of having him around? If then they're not going to put the money in. When it comes to January, we're going to have the same old bullshit of do nothing for the first 28, 29 days. And then the last 2 days, run around like a headless chicken trying to get somebody in. They need to come out now and let us know what their plans are for January, what they're planning to do. Are they going to be active from straight away? We keep reading reports that, oh yeah, Tottenham are in for this player, we're talking to this player. December, we're talking to this player. Well, come out, give us a flavour of what you're going to be. Come out and say, look, we backed Thomas Frank. He's our manager. We know things are not right, but we're gonna back him in January and we're gonna back him in the summer. Give us something to hold on to. Give us something to get behind. But if you've got nothing coming out from the board, Vinay and Lang and Paratici going as quiet as a mouse, you've got Thomas Frank now hitting back at the fans. You've got Porro hitting back at the fans. I think the club's in the right mess. And who's at it for that at the end of the day? Us, the fans. Because at the end of the day, it's our football club. We want to be the most successful club we can be. And if nobody's prepared to come out and treat us as individuals that have supported this club through thick and thin, they're not respecting us. They see us as customers. That's it. ENIC see us as customers. You know, I'm a customer because I'm an overseas customer because I come from Ireland, right? If you went to the game together, you'd be a customer. The day of White Hart Lane, and I know Knights Republic, you're younger than me. You've only known the ENIC era. I've known other eras. I've known other owners. This is my fourth lot of ownership supporting this football club. But please don't tell me that I would rather have White Hart Lane back any day of the week, Tequila, and a very, very good side. We've got a fantastic stadium with a shit side. This is Daniel Levy's legacy. This is Daniel Levy's, what he's left behind. He's left an absolute mess. And I just feel Thomas Frank is not the right manager to take us forward in this mess. I don't know who is. I don't know if you get anyone in. I don't think they can do any good. So ENIC need to come out. Either they're going to back Frank or sack Frank. It's one or the other. But they have to come out and give us something, and come out and give us something to get behind. Because as long as this silence goes on, Tequila, you know as well as I do, it's just going to be the same old shit. And it is. It's history repeating itself. And why should I trust the new ownership where you're just following the same old models they've done over the last 25 years? It hasn't changed, and it will never change until they leave our football club. End of that.
It just makes you wonder, I think, looking at the all-time great managers. I mean,
yeah,
I do question if any of them could do what the fans really want them to do with this squad of players. Me and Dermo are going to be doing a show, I think Wednesday or Thursday. We've amended it a little bit, so we're going to try to place the players in brackets of like, are they top 4 quality? Are they European quality, or are they just like, also rans? Are they like bottom half players? It'll be curious to see. Me and Dermo probably won't agree on all of them. I think we'll agree on some of them, but we'll probably have slightly different ideas. You fans can probably get involved as well when you watch, just so we've all got a decent idea of just exactly the tools that whichever manager, be it Frank or whoever takes over from him, if they do, has to work with. But my point is that I don't think that even some of the best managers I can think of would be able to do what probably a lot of the Spurs fans want us to do, which is most likely finish in the top 4, which is a pipe dream, I think. I think even European qualification, which is probably going up to 7th or 8th. I think that's a very, very, very difficult thing to do this year with this group of players. But maybe that's me rating the players. Maybe I rate him more harshly than some of the people, or maybe even Dermo does. I had us at 9th at the start. So for me, we're sitting in 13th, I think, Dermo, or is it 12th? So we're slightly behind the curve where I thought we'd be. We'll find out when we've done this show what everyone thinks, just so we can get an idea. But I don't think there's certainly no manager that certainly I'm thinking of in my head, especially one that is what I would say available or realistic, that is going to come into here with this team halfway through the season and salvage anything of any real note.
No.
If it was April or May, Dermo, I'd be like, fine, get him in.
Yeah.
Give him the whole summer.
Get his feet under the table.
Yep. Let him spend the last couple of months to analyze the squad. He'll get a free pass from most Spurs fans, I would like to think, so he can analyze the squad, and then he'll have the whole transfer window, hopefully with proper backing from the new ENIC that they claimed they were going to be, and then we can start and go next season. But as for this season, there's no fix, Dermo.
No, there is no fix. No. Elspeth, is this a new stream, or have you been going for hours? No, this is a new stream. This is your new Las Vegas body, by the way, Tequila. So,
is it the guy's going to put me up after I win?
No, it's the lady that's going to put you up, hopefully.
Oh, I'm going to have to be on my best behaviour then, aren't I? That's not good news, Dermo. I was hoping to be like a carefree dude. He just turns up and spends all his money on the gambling machines. That was the idea. Dermo's run off. I'm not sure where Dermo's gone, bless him. I'll read some of the guys in the chat while we wait for Dermo to come back. Wow, there's a lot of comments.
So I just had somebody at the door, sorry. Look, I want to take this comment from Tequila.
From Tequila?
Your estate from Column, sorry.
Bless you.
Oh, I'm gone. You're saying this is the legacy of Levy. Who do you think okayed all that? Yeah, it was ENIC. We all know it was ENIC. We all know it was the Joe Lewis and his very bound of men. Look, to be fair, I have to be. I think with the new board, Tequila, I have to be probably a little bit be reasonable. There is a new people in there. There is Carrington, the new chief executive. There is Vinay in there. There is Lang's in there. Paratici's come back. We've got Viv and we've got Charlie, a whole new sort of people. I think they're still trying to sell the club, and I think they will do. I think to get the right price, they've begun. But I also feel that the boardroom problems we had in the summer caused our issues with our summer policy, transfer policy. Do you think the board, right, if they were to come out and say, right, we're going to freeze ticket prices and we're going to reduce some of the season ticket, we're going to reduce the ticket prices for next season. Do you think that would be a good thing to get the fans back on board? Because we do pay the highest prices in Europe, Tequila. I mean, for my game alone for Brentford, right, 58 quid for the ticket. Plus, if you put in my plane fare, plus if you put in then from get the Heathrow to the ground, having a few pints, having something to eat, probably something to eat on the way back because my flight's not to say coming back to 9:30. Do you think if the board come out and said, do you know what, lads, let's reduce the ticket prices. Let's give the fans something back. Do you think that might get more people around them and people like me thinking, okay, this has changed? Because we need something to get around to get around the club again. Do you know what I'm getting at? Or am I just smoking a pipe, smoking some funny fags and gone away in the pipe?
I wouldn't say the pipe dream. I mean, they could do that, but I think a lot of people, maybe the more cynical amongst us, myself included, I suppose, would see as that trying to do the old-fashioned magic trick, where it's like, oh look at this hand. Oh no, look what this other hand's doing, just to distract you. It would feel like that for me. And I think if you ask most fans, there might be some exceptions, that if the football is better, as in more attractive to watch, so the entertainment value and the winning, right? If both those two things improve, they will care less about spending the money, because it's the old thing, the promoting kind of like if your product is good, people will come. And the Spurs product is bad.
Yeah.
Because we don't win nothing, especially at home. And we play terrible. And it is a negative atmosphere, which is developed from the fans play a part in it, but it's from top to bottom. And we're now at a point where neither side wants to give, really. The players now have their backs up. They for the impression is, at least the impression I'm getting from all these, well, not all of them, but these 2 or 3 idiot players who have come out and said this, that they don't particularly like us very much. They don't like how we treat them.
No,
we're not allowed to treat them certain ways. According to Mr. Porro, we're not allowed to treat them certain ways. If we do, we're not proper fans. That's from Mr. Porro.
We're not allowed to be fans, Tequila. Let's get it straight. We're not true Tottenham fans. We need to rename this channel Dermot and Tequila's football rants. You know, we're not allowed to be called THFC till we die. You know, we're not allowed to have that.
We've got a countdown to the mighty Pedro Porro, who's going to tell us how to live and what a real fan is.
And Thomas Frank as well. Don't forget him.
Thomas Frank is also guilty of that. Yes, unfortunately. I wish it was just the player. But no, when it's meant to be the guy in charge, there's problems. So the point is that it's a bad atmosphere all around. The players don't like the fans. This is my opinion. Most of the players don't like the fans, and from what it seems, most of us don't like the players. That's a big problem. When for your home games in particular, that's a big problem.
But do you know what, Tequila? Even if Tottenham are playing shit, you were guaranteed the likes of me, like for the watch along, I will be there for every watch along, home and away. I don't go to the games. I feel like I am going to the games, if you know what I mean. By doing the watch alongs, I feel that I am going to the home games. I'm there. I'm sitting with Rain and talking about it. I feel like I'm in the ground itself. But how dare he? How fucking dare he? Who gives him the right? I'm really pissed about that. I really am. And I just want, we are doing Thursday. We've sort of renamed it top. How we're going to do the squad is going to be top 4, top 6, and top 10. Something along them lines. But yeah, I tell you one thing, I'm going to gut this squad completely. Big up to Len Simpson. He says, I'm from the Northeast. The fans up there back the club through good and the bad. Look at Eddie Howe at Bournemouth. He was sacked because they got relegated. The same would be down here with Newcastle. I agree. I think Eddie Howe's a great manager. I love him at Spurs, by the way, Eddie Howe. I think Eddie Howe would do a good job for us. We've got Colin saying Levy, for what I heard from people, was pushing the move away from some of the previous choices and focus on the footballer side, but not the business side. That convo didn't end well, allegedly.
It's interesting you say that, Com.
Yeah.
That would have been quite not entertaining. Is that the right word to use?
Yeah.
Let me put interesting. If Daniel Levy was about to change his ways and then was got fired because he wanted to change it, that would just be the icing on the cake. Levy finally was like, well, maybe I should start worrying about the football side. And then the other members of ENIC were like, oh no, you don't. Who knew that Dermo that Levy was going to end up being the good guy, and he wanted to make changes, and then the evil enterprise of ENIC fired him because he wanted to become a good guy. That would be pretty funny, wouldn't it?
That would be ironic, wouldn't it? Just a little bit of breaking news. We've got, guys. We have Richarlison is expected to attract interest from Brazil, Everton, as well as the Saudi Pro League in January. So Tequila could be getting your wish.
Please.
Be on the way. Look, I just want to go through a few more stats, and then we've got big up to Carlos. And Carlos says, keep him, can't see anyone else there. Well, look, Xabi Alonso could be sacked, I think, from Real Madrid if they lose tomorrow.
Xabi Alonso, well, we all saw what he did at Leverkusen, right? So he's a very, very, very good manager. And if you remember, Dermo, I believe Levy flied over to Germany. Him and
Lang.
Was it Lang? And one of them, they to hold talks. And I think at the time, a lot of us were like, Xabi Alonso, really? He's barely even managed. Wow, were we wrong?
Yeah, we were.
He pulled up trees in Leverkusen.
Did.
I'd bite your hand off for him, but as I said earlier, even if he were to come in tomorrow, what would we expect him to do with this team for this season?
Yeah, I know. The squad needs gotten, but the squad needs gotten. Here are the only times Spurs have finished below 10th on the home-only table in the Premier League era. 15th and 24th last season, finished 17th. 12th in the 2002-03, 10th in the league. 12th in 98-99. We did win the League Cup that year, by the way. 97-98, 14th, but we finished 15th and the home-only team. 12th, and then in 93-94, we finished 21st. But we finished 15th due to us getting the win at Oldham. And we did lose our final game of that season, 4-1 to QPR at the end of that season. The lowest XG tequila as well. This is another problem. This again is Frank's tactics again. This is, I mean, we're talking about players, but also the title of the show is the writing on the wall from Thomas Frank. And I did take that title from a Bond song, by the way. So I thought it was a good title for a song, title for the show, actually. Lowest XG Premier League since data was collected in 2012-2013. Crystal Palace away, 0.06. Arsenal away and Chelsea at home this season, 0.07, 0.1. Man City away, 0.13 in 2019. Liverpool at home, 0.14 in 2021. Chelsea away November of the same year, 0.19. Bournemouth at home August of this year, 0.19. It is pointing to his tactics. Has he got to change it? Has he got to do him the squad have to get together and say, right, this is what we've got to do? What do you want me to change? What are you happy with? Does it have to be a clear to air talks? Because these XGs, you look at the ones in yellow, this is this season. That's not good enough, Tequila. I'm sorry.
I don't think anyone can argue with you that it's not good enough. I wonder, and how much you think this has played a part in it. This is the first season in many a season without Kane or Sonny. Now we were quite critical of Sonny last season.
Yeah.
Because he had lost a yard. Yeah. But he was still our talisman, or he was the last one of our talismanic players that we had. And still probably our most potent attacker. So this is what we're seeing is we're seeing life after Sonny and Kane. So, whilst I am not absolving Frank from it because I think his tactics are playing a role,
Yeah.
that does have to be taken into account a little bit. I'm not making excuses for it. I'm not going to sit here and say if we had Sonny, we'd be 10 points higher in the league and our home form would be good, because no, our home form was bad last year when Sonny was there. I'm just saying that is a factor. And we've already admitted that we never replaced Kane, or we thought somehow, and here's a laugh for everyone, we thought that Richarlison was a replacement for Kane. And we flat out just didn't bother replacing Sonny.
No.
And before people say, oh, yeah, you did, we got Xavi. No. Xavi, we only got Xavi because Maddison was injured. Xavi was not Sonny's replacement. Xavi was bought, right, because we panicked at more or less the last minute.
Yeah.
As a replacement because of the year-long injury Maddison had. We never replaced Sonny.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
So I will, and I actually probably don't blame Thomas Frank for that. Obviously, we were interested in Savinho, that we can get that over the line. So I just want people to remember that this is the first time we are without our two talismanic forward players who galvanized us and carried us through a good 10 seasons or so. And this is what life looks like after Kane and Sonny, because I think people might have wondered maybe like 5 years ago when their ages were starting to creep up, and we were all kind of like fearful of this day coming. The day's come.
Yeah, it has. Look, a couple of more stats, and then we're going to end off there. This is the Premier League worst home records in 25-26. We're 19th with a home record.
Yeah.
I mean, that's shocking. I mean,
the only team that's worse than us is Wolves, and they are absolutely terrible this season.
Yeah.
Although, of course, they were good enough to come to our place and get a draw.
Yeah. And then Spurs absent attack and threats. Now, we are missing people up front, Nikita. We are missing the likes of Slanky, Maddison, Sonny. I know Sonny's gone off, but across all competitions in 24-25 season. So this is last season. And Kulu. So we're missing sort of 49 goals, 40 assists, 89 in total. I mean, I get Kulu's out. God knows when he's going to come back. I don't think if he comes back. Maddison, we know he's back to start next season. And Solanke's another one. And Sonny's left the club. I don't think this ownership or Thomas Frank looked in the summer and thought, hello, lads, we got a problem here. We need more attacking players. I feel this falls on all of them. Is it bad planning? I think it was.
You'd like to have thought that I think the Maddison injury kind of shook us, because I don't think personally we were in the market for another 10. I know that we were after Gibbs White, but I think Gibbs White was probably going to play a bit deeper. I think Gibbs White was going to play as an 8. That's just what I think. So I don't think we were in a market for a 10 until Maddison got injured. So that money that we probably spent on Simmons would probably be saved to try and get a left winger to replace Sonny. And in the end, we decided obviously to get Simmons, and obviously we got Moani on loan, I suppose, with the idea that Richie could fill the left wing role. And I'm trying not to laugh as I say that because he can barely kick a ball, other than when he shoots from the halfway line and scores. Other than that part, of course. I think Dermo's in his own world. Yeah, he's in his own world. I might check the chat there, whilst Dermo's in his own world. Yes, I agree, Carl. I saw him as an 8 as well. I thought if we were buying him, it was probably to pair him up with maybe Paulinho, which would have been bloody awesome, I thought. That would have been very nice. Who else is in the chat? Carl saying, but people tell me Solanke is shit. I wouldn't say he was shit. I think he's quite average, but average shit is Richie is shit. Solanke's all right. At least that's what I think. Richie, when will that name stop being mentioned? Carl, hopefully in January. That's my answer for you. Then again, we say that every window, and it never comes to pass. What else have you got in the chat?
Tequila, I'm going to have to jump. Something's cropped up here, so I'm going to have to jump off. But can you finish off the stream, or do you want me to finish it off for you?
Oh, we can just finish it off now, Dermo. I was
Yeah.
just reading the comments anyway, so
Yeah.
rather than
Sorry,
me
I
just talking
ju-
to
I
myself.
ju-
No,
yeah.
it's fine. It's fine.
Sorry, but something just come up here.
It's all right, mate. It's already
Deal with.
£9, so we've already done an
Yeah.
hour, bro. So
Okay.
that's fine.
Listen, Tequila, where can people find you, bud?
Obviously, you can find me on here, and you can find me on the Play Pouch, which is gaming channel. We've got end of year awards for the crap year that was 2025, and there's South Park. I'm not sure when. Well, one day soon. There you go. Please join us for that. Cheers, Demo.
Yeah, and also we're on tomorrow at 3 with Tottenham Team Talks. Then we're on tomorrow at 7:30. I think we're before the whistle, and then 8 o'clock for the watch along, and then we're on at 11 for match reactions. Yes, we are going to do match reactions after Newcastle game. Then Thursday, we've got Thursday 1 o'clock. We've got Irish Lads Talk Spurs. 4 o'clock on Thursday, we have the player rating show. 8 o'clock, me and Tequila will be going through the squad and putting that apart and putting it together. And then Friday, we've got all the build up for the Brighton Brentford game. And then Saturday, all your match day stuff as well on Saturday. Guys, thank you all for watching. Another great numbers tonight as well. It's really grown, so we're really over the moon.
Quick shout out tonight. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Sorry, Dermo. Just wanted to show a bit of love. Thank you. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah, no, big up to your nights. Hit a like, hit subscribe, and then we're out of here. See you tomorrow at 3. Come on, you Spurs.